This industry is always moving, always changing, and that's what makes it exciting, but also so important for MSPs to stay up on the latest tech, on the latest strategies, on just the latest news.
Today, I'm really happy to have Brooke Edge with us. She's our rockstar researcher, and I'm really excited to have you. Maybe you can just introduce yourself with a few words and tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. Thank you, Lisa. My name is Brooke Edge. I work with OpenEye Advisors, and that's how I've gotten involved with MSP Global and with CloudFest. And I am a consumer researcher by trade. I used to be a journalist. I used to be a professor in the university, but I just love research. And so that's really become my focus. One of the things I love most to do is to talk with people that can be doing research online through surveys or in interviews. And I get to do both of those for MSP Global because we've launched this past year. We used to do a once a year survey in advance of MSP Global to get to know from the MSP industry players themselves what's most important to them. We quickly figured out that that wasn't quite fast enough. So this year we launched a quarterly pulse survey. So we're able to take the temperature, get opinions more regularly, and importantly, and what's exciting for me as a research person, to see trends develop over time. So that's what we got to present here at MSP Global, but we also get to put out on the MSP Global website periodically.
That's amazing. What originally drew you to the MSP industry?
So my first introduction to the MSP industry was actually through CloudFest because it was a subset of who was coming to CloudFest. Then we were doing something similar for CloudFest, surveying the industry, getting to know them. Then what got me interested in MSP in particular was the opportunity to go even deeper. So not to go even more particular into a certain subset within the broader tech industry at large. And it's been really interesting to see how it differs from others.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to start us off, could you summarize the key findings from the latest State of the Industry report?
Sure.
We just launched, by the way.
We just launched. It's available online, and it'll be able to keep being updated quarterly. So it's something to stay in touch with. What we learned from these first two pulses is that we've seen an interesting collaboration, and that is one thing that really sets MSPs apart. And so when you asked why I like working with MSPs, that's one reason why. I love a collaborative bunch. But this interest in partnership has even jumped. And so we saw a real, what we were calling the pivot to partnership between these two pulses, where it jumped a number of points, both an interest in forming solid relationships with other MSPs to collaborate, and also managing vendor relationships well. So it became way more important. Some other main findings were obviously security has always been a concern. It will continue to be a concern. But this time we saw security and compliance together being concerns and also tied up in each other. So security is becoming even more nuanced. And we saw security as an opportunity. It keeps becoming more and more of an opportunity for MSP industry growth. To that point, MSPs are really optimistic. And that's another thing I really like.
That's great.
Optimistic about their own growth as individuals, optimistic about the industry at large because of the ever-evolving need to stay up on new technology, to stay secure, things like that. There's just going to be a growing need.
Great. So why do you think research like this is so important for the MSP industry itself?
Okay, so I mentioned that this is a quickly moving industry, and we learned that a once-a-year survey was not enough. That's why. This industry is always moving, always changing, and that's what makes it exciting, but also so important for MSPs to stay up on the latest tech, on the latest strategies, on just the latest news. So that's why research can be important because we all have limited bandwidth. If MSP Global can do this research for MSPs and provide it to them so they can stay up to date, that's a real benefit.
Yeah, of course, you're right. So let's talk a little bit about MSP Global in general.
Okay.
What makes MSP Global like stand out in this space? So it's not only the community, but also as a research platform.
Well, so as a research platform, obviously I love anytime people can get together. And to me, that's like, human sources. So we can all learn from each other. It's like everyone can be a researcher on their own here at MSP Global because everyone is here to talk and learn from each other. To that point, that's why MSP Global is so important. It's because we heard clearly from all the surveys we've done so far on the MSP industry is that people want to work with each other. They want to learn from each other. And there are limited opportunities to do that in a really dynamic space.
Yeah.
And so that's why people want to come together at MSP Global. The other thing that MSP Global does with research is that we ask the MSP industry players what they want to learn about. And then that informs what shows up on stage. So it's this really beautiful organic ecosystem that then all comes together once a year.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I just love the energy of the community. It's great.
When I was saying that the optimism came through in the survey, it also comes through here. It's a really fun time.
You can really see it. I know.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep on moving. So why should people attend the event? Like, what's so special about it? Why should people come here and just take the ride?
Okay, well, I'm not one of the ride goers, so, I'm going to let someone else, maybe the video of Christian riding rides that can
Love
get you
that.
on the rides. But why they should come to MSP Global, I won't keep reiterating that it's good to come here and talk with each other, but I will back it up with research in that in the surveys, when we specifically asked people who are in sales and communications and marketing at MSP firms, they say the most effective way to get news about their organizations out, to meet other people, the most effective way to grow their own business is from in-person events.
Yeah, definitely. So let's talk a little bit about trust and collaboration because, well, collaboration comes from the events when you come together. So the trust barrier you mentioned in the report is a big one. So what do you think MSPs can do in practical terms to overcome real collaboration?
Okay. So that is an important finding from the report. And it has been steady, but between the pulses we've done. There is that intense interest in collaboration, but there's also the main barrier to that is trust. It's natural. It makes sense. You've built up a business. You want to make sure you're not going to put that at risk. But when we ask, people if you go download the report, you can see sort of the numbers behind all of this. But there's really strong interest in and recognition of the value in collaboration. Then there's a gap between philosophy and practice of people who actually have done a lot of collaboration. And so there's a real opportunity space there. The main thing people say keeps them from filling that opportunity gap is trust. And subsegments of trust are going to be revenue sharing models, legal issues. But we also folded in qualitative interviews and with experts in the field. And those are people who have gotten past that trust barrier. And they say, first of all, once you jump in, it's not as scary as you think it's going to be to just start sharing information and trusting people. The other thing that we heard from experts is you just kind of have to get to know people on a human level. MSP Global then provides one good opportunity to meet someone in person. One of our interviewees, Ronnie Bachman, said, just take someone out for a beer and that you're going to learn a lot.
It works like this.
There's plenty of beers around here.
We had some last night, I guess. Well, maybe we can focus a little bit more about the pulse concept itself, because you already mentioned that we are representing 2 pulses until now. Why is it important to just view at the quarters themselves, and how can we interpret the findings over there?
Okay, so obviously any benchmarking survey, when it's pulsed regularly, you can only take so much from one. It's like taking someone's temperature. If you take one temperature, that's a good read. You take another temperature later, you can see whether things are going up or down. So we want to be able to stay on top of taking the temperature of the industry at large because it's going to yield more and more valuable information. And we're just at the beginning of it with these first two.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next pieces.
Welcome to my world of getting excited about data.
Yes. Well, so if we're looking ahead a little bit, what themes or trends are you most interested to watch as we move into the next pulse of survey results?
Okay, so with 2 pulses, that's when you can start saying like, oh, this is moving up, this is moving down, this is staying steady. Certain things have stayed steady. Interest in and investment in AI, that's stayed steady. A need to focus on customer experience, that stayed steady. Things that have sort of gone up and down are, well, we've seen that collaboration interest go even higher. So that's interesting. We want to see if that keeps going. We've also seen more interest in, I mentioned compliance and compliance as a service offering rise. So is that going to keep going up? And will that be a differentiator then for MSPs who do offer compliance assistance as a service?
Great. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the methodology. Well, you also proposed adding interviews alongside the survey data. What's the value of that mixed approach?
So I really love a mixed approach because I, again, having been a journalist, I love making sure we can get the human side of everything. So we have survey data sets coming in. Those are great. Those tell us a lot. It helps a lot to add color, to speak with people who really, live the industry day to day. That's one reason at the end of every survey, we ask, would you be interested in participating in an interview? Because we're always looking for more people to get their takes on it. One good reason for that is because we consistently hear people say what they want to hear about from peers and other industry leaders is real world case studies. So we can only get so much information in a survey, but by doing, say, a 30, 45-minute interview with someone, we can hear, okay, you say you value investment in innovation. How does that look for you?
Yeah.
What's happened? What are lessons we can learn? And then we can add that in.
Yeah, perfect. So this is actually a call to action for everyone who's listening and watching us right now, because you guys should just get ready and do interviews with us, because this is super valuable.
Yes, first, please take the survey when it comes to you, because it's meant to inform you. It's really for your benefit. There's also always a drawing at the end for people to get VIP passes to upcoming conferences.
Oh, wow. Sounds good. I mean, the VIP experience here is great. I mean, we can tell.
Yes.
Okay, let's just talk a little bit more. That's also already the wrap up of everything, but let's have a look at the sector insights.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't want to give too much information away from the full report, but what stood out to you from conversation with tech, business strategy, or communications professionals? How are they viewing the MSP landscape?
So that's something that was important in this report, is that everything we've been talking about so far was from the full survey respondents, everyone at large. We also then included some branches within the survey for people who were specialists in tech and IT in particular, people who were business owners and business strategists, and then people who are in sales and communications, to get their certain view of the marketplace and of the industry. So you can read all about that in the reports online. But just as a real quick sort of hint at it, tech and IT, you can tell these people are the ones who are dealing on the front lines with that changing landscape. They're still optimistic, but theirs is a little lower because they're seeing, they're doing a lot. They're ever shifting. This is where we saw them making sure they're staying up on compliance and things like that, and also trying to get AI to work as well as possible for them. Business strategy, really optimistic. That's looking great, but we can see changes in where they're investing. And so they're doing a little bit more of an outward look of a little less investment on internal hiring and even internal use of AI, a little more look at diversification of offerings and looking outward. So let's see how that keeps trending or not. Will it stay on the offense from a strategy perspective? And then finally, sales and communications. I am going to put a call out there. If you're in sales and communications in the MSP, we would love more survey respondents who are in that sector. But we see a real echoing of that outward focus of looking at how we can diversify and how we can more ably pitch business outside.
Great. That's amazing. I think it's super interesting, and I think it's super valuable for our entire community and the industry itself. So we are really happy to have you, Brooke. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Lisa.
And I'm really looking forward for maybe a next podcast sometime, because I mean, we will be talking about this topic a lot in the future, I guess. So really looking forward to it.
Thanks so much, Lisa. It's been my pleasure.